As a family who has been in crisis and who have had sons in crisis, it is just critical that we have a way where we can stabilize our kids and still not have to place them out of our home long term. You know, my experience is that families want to stay together. We want to be able to take care of our kids, and we want to do whatever it is our kids need. But sometimes we need help, and we can't do it alone.
The Community Crisis Stabilization Service, or we call it CCSS, it was born out of Second Substitute Senate Bill 5459 that identified the closure of Francis Haddon Morgan Center. It also mandated that no child under the age of 16 or 16 or younger could be admitted to an RHC any longer. So this really created a service gap, if you will, for those clients that had historically gone into the RHCs, such as Francis Haddon Morgan Center. So what we did is we first opened a children's program in November of 2012. We opened a children's program in Lakewood, Washington that houses up to 3 children ages 8 to 21. And the program is really very similar to what services they received at the Francis Haddon Morgan Center. It's heavily staffed 24/7. It has expertise on site. We have a psych associate in the program. We've got behavior therapists. We have an ARNP on staff. So they're really offering very intensive behavioral treatment to these clients based on their individual needs. Yet they're also giving them access to the community and also continued contact with their families and other natural supports that they had prior to coming into the program. The whole idea is that we want to take these children as they are right now in the community. They may be in very acute crisis. Bring them into our program, stabilize them as much as possible, and then slowly begin to reintegrate them back into the community with the idea that once they release from our program or transition out of our program at the end of that 180 days or even before, that we would be able to replicate some of those similar services in the home, in the family home, or wherever they may go after they're placed. So as part of that, we would look at what type of waiver service they qualify for, and then link them to that and have those supports in place prior to them even transitioning out.
It's really important that you contact your case manager and that you have that ongoing communication with your case manager of what is happening, and that you talk to them and say, you know, we're at a breaking point and we really need some stabilization in our home so that we can continue to do this long term. From a family perspective, and I've been there, it's really hard to ask. It's really hard to say, my kids are exhibiting behaviors that I'm having a really hard time handling, and that our home has become unsafe. But if what we need is some stabilization and some extra supports in our home so that we can do this long term and so that we can make it okay for everybody, it's okay to ask. That's what the services are there for. And families need to know that they have these services available to them so that they can make it through the rough times, right? It takes a village, and we're all here to help one another.